What did we learn?
Last episode on a method.
Okay, the last episode we learned about remainder theorem. Okay, remainder theorem is a very simple theorem. It's a very useful theorem. What it tells us is that you just need to look at the divisor. Let's, for example, if the divisor is x minus 2, okay, all we have to do is ask ourselves, how do we make the divisor 0? So you know that x must be 2. You substitute it back into the original function, you will get the remainder based on the remainder theorem that we have learned yesterday. Alright? So this is why it works. Because if you have the divisor over here, okay, if you have the divisor over here, if you make this 0, then what remains behind is only the remainder. Okay, so the goal is to make the divisor 0 because your fx, which is the original function, before you did any division, is equal to the divisor times the quotient plus the remainder. Alright? So when we start with the factor theorem, this is basically a special case. The factor theorem is just a special case on the remainder theorem. And what this theorem states is that if you substitute in a number, fx, and so happen that the remainder is 0, that means it is a factor. You think about it, okay? When you think about having a number, this one I'm going to write down. Let's say you have the number 6. If I divide by 5, okay, 6 divided by 5 will give me 1 and the remainder of 1. Correct? It gives me 1 remainder 1. Because 5 is not a factor of 6. But what are factors of 6? Factors of 6 are like 2, 3, or 6 itself. If I divide 6 by any of the factors, I do not get any remainder. Okay? So therefore, if you substitute a number inside the original function fx, and if you get a remainder of 0, that means that is a factor. Okay? If your remainder is 0, it means that the divisor is actually a factor. Okay, so I hope you understand what this means, alright? So how do we check whether the divisor, okay, this is the divisor, how do we check whether this particular divisor is a factor? We will just ask ourselves again, how do I make this divisor 0? I need to substitute in f1. Why 1? Because only 1 can make this divisor 0. Okay, so when you substitute 1 inside, you're going to get 3 times 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 1. Enter this in your calculator. What do you get? 3 minus 2 minus 1. 0, right? So, therefore, x minus 1 is a factor. Alright? I hope you guys understand this. This is basically what the factor theorem is. Okay, you substitute in the number that makes the divisor equal 0. Okay, and when you substitute it, if it becomes, the fx becomes 0, it means that it is a factor. Why? Because it means that the remainder is 0. Alright, how about let's try, yes? Can. Okay, why do you want to make the divisor 0? Good question. It's because we understand that all of fx, what is fx? Fx is the number that is to be divided, right? Fx at its core can be split into the divisor multiplied by the quotient plus the remainder. Right? So if your divisor is 0, can you see that what is left behind is only the remainder? Got it? Like I said, there's 2 ways for you to do A math. Number 1 is either you understand it deep enough. If you understand it, then you don't have to memorize. But if you don't understand, can you still get the A1?
No.
You can. You just memorize.
No.
But I can tell you one thing, the thing that differentiates O-level and A-level, especially a lot of you want to go A-level next time, right, JC, is that if you don't understand math at A-level, even if you get A1 and O-level, you will really die. Okay? You will drop from A1 all the way to F9. Okay? In your JC. If you don't understand, because it is really very difficult. Some people say that actually A-level is even more difficult than university. I totally agree. Because it is actually an entrance exam. Okay, it's an entrance exam to see whether you can get to university. Once you get to university, actually it is a lot simpler. Okay, it is a lot simpler. Okay, so I'll say A level is probably one of the toughest exams you will ever take in your life. Many people will break down, many people will cry. Okay, but you must know, in order to get to university, our 3 local universities, you just get C's and D's, you can make it already. Because it is actually that difficult. Okay, the paper is actually that difficult. Alright, so it's actually not as easy as you think. Alright, but understanding is very important. Okay, let's move on. Okay, enough of stories. Part B, so if we want to check whether x minus 1 is a factor, so same thing, what we're going to do is we're going to substitute in. We're going to try to make the divisor equal 0, so I'm going to substitute in f1. Okay, when you substitute it inside, 3 1 cubed minus 1 square plus 3 times 1 minus 2. I think some of you already worked out the answer. What's the answer? 3. So do you think it's a factor?
No.
No, why? Why is it not a factor?
It's a remainder.
Yeah, because it has a remainder. Okay, because it has a remainder, therefore it cannot be a factor. So, no, it is not a factor. Why? It has a remainder of 3. Okay? Now I know you don't have to write down everything, they never really ask you to write down the explanation, but when you self-study next time, it's easier for you to understand why. Because trust me, now that I explain to you, you understand. But 3 months later, 4 months later, 5 months later, when you revisit this thing, trust me, a lot of you will have forgotten. Okay, a lot of you will have forgotten. Alright? Okay, let's move on. So like I said, this chapter is actually very easy. Work example number 7, they say let fx is this function. Given that x minus 2 is a factor of fx, find the value of k. So this question is a very typical question. It's about 2 marks only. Okay? So if we know that x minus 2 is a factor, the concept they are testing you is that if you substitute in this f2, okay, you make the divisor 0, you substitute that value inside the fx, what will happen to that function? If it is a factor, will there be a remainder? No. So the remainder will be 0. So you must know that when you substitute 2 inside, the remainder is 0. So all we have to do now is just do the math. 0 square minus 3 times 0. Hey, what am I doing? 2 square minus 3 times 2 plus k equals 0. Okay? This is the most important line of working. Once you can get this, this whole chapter is easy peasy. Alright? So you must understand this concept. I'm going a little bit slow, later I'll go a bit fast. Alright? But you must remember this concept. So this one is just 4 minus 6 plus k equals 0. 4 minus 6 gives me negative 2 plus k equals 0. So therefore k is equals to 2. Can? Alright? Anyone is confused about the first one? If you are okay with the first one, let's look at the try it. The concept is exactly the same. Alright, but now the divisor is x plus 2. The common mistake that people make in the exam is they see that x plus 2, they substitute in positive 2. Remember, it is not this constant over here. It is, the question you should ask yourself is, how do I make the divisor 0? Okay, because this is the divisor, how do I make it 0? Why do you want to make it 0? You want to make it 0 because of the remainder theorem. If you make it 0, you will get the remainder only. Okay, so here, if you want to make it 0, some people will do working this 0, so I know x must be negative 2. So I know I will have to substitute negative 2 inside. Just do it out. Negative 2 square minus p negative 2 minus 14. This whole thing will be equals to 0. Alright, so you just finish this working. 2 square gives me 4. 4 times 2 gives me 8. 8 minus gives me plus 2p minus 14 is equals to 0. Okay, so I combine these two. 8 minus 14 gives me negative 6. Okay, equals 0, so therefore 2p is equals to 6, p is equals to 3. Okay, This is, you would expect to see this kind of level of question in the exam, but the simple one, okay, maybe it's like question 1 or question 2. This kind of question, you cannot give away the marks. Because if you really give away the marks for this one, you're going to be really very disappointed. Okay? So let's move on. Work example number 9. Okay, work example number 9. Let's take a look at the next one. Okay, the expression, this whole thing is exactly divisible by x squared minus 2x minus 3. Find the value of a and b. I would say this one, okay, this one is more typical of a typical exam question that is about 5 marks. That one, previously you see one is just starter question, maybe it's like 2 marks for me. This one is maybe about 5. Okay, about 5, or maybe sometimes you're lucky, maybe 6 marks. Alright? But definitely you will see one of this variation. Okay, so how do you do this question? Now this question seems a little bit, don't know. But if your concept is strong, then actually it's not that difficult. Because remember, what do you want the value of the divisor to be? 0. So how do you make this 0? Right, the question is how do you make this 0? So let us find what are the values of x that can make this 0. X squared minus 2x minus 3 is equals to 0. Let's factorize it, okay? It's up to you lah, whether you want to factorize it or you want to use quadratic formula. But this one is actually quite easy to factorize, right? So I'll have x squared minus 3 minus 2x. I have x here, 3, 1. I cross multiply 3, I have a x. How do I get negative 2? I'm going to have negative 3 plus. So here is negative plus. I would realize that this is x minus 3 times x plus 1 gives me 0. So therefore, x is equals to 3 or x is equals to negative 1. Is that okay? So your concept has to be strong. We know that it is exactly divisible by this quadratic. We know the concept is that we want to make the divisor 0. And we want to find the specific value of x that makes the divisor 0. Okay, so we factorize it, we solve for it. So what does this mean? I have 2 options here. I know that if I substitute in 3 into my original fx, which this is my original fx, I'm going to get 0. Right? Or if I substitute in negative 1 into my original function, I will also get 0. 2 equations. Immediately, without even me doing anything, I know this is a simultaneous equation problem. Alright, so let's quickly substitute it in. So my x is 3 into this original function, so I'm going to work that out. A 3 cubed minus 8 3 squared plus b 3 plus 6 equals 0. Not the prettiest equation, but it's still doable. Just be patient. Alright, the next one, substitute negative 1 inside. Let's try this. A negative 1 cubed minus 8 negative 1 square plus b negative 1 plus 6 equals 0. I have 2 equations. Let's simplify them. Alright. So a 3 cubed gives me 27. 27a minus 3 times 3 squared gives me 9. 9 times 8 gives me 72. So negative 72 plus b times 3, 3b plus 6 equals 0. Okay, I keep the a's on one side. 27a plus 3b is equals to negative 72 plus 6 gives me negative 66. I bring it over, I'm going to get positive 66. This is my equation 1. Alright, let's look at the right hand side. Let's simplify things. Negative 1 cubed still gives me negative a. Negative 8 times negative 1 square. Anything square is positive, so what remains is just negative 8. Negative b plus 6 equals 0. I keep the a's and b's on one side. Negative 6 plus negative 8 plus 6 gives me negative 2. Negative 2 I bring over the other side gives me positive 2. This is my equation 2. Okay? I'm not going to waste time to do the simultaneous equation. I went through many of these before with you. Okay? I will go through simultaneous in E-math. Okay? But now I'm going to skip it. Okay? But I skip it means I don't mean I don't give you the answer lah. Okay. When you use your simultaneous equation, you use your don't use calculator. Only I use calculator. But when you use the calculator, you will get A is equals to 3, B is equals to -5. Okay, tell you what, can you guys try? Can you solve this simultaneously? There are two methods. It's either you can use by elimination. I can tell you elimination is probably the easiest. Why? Because I can see this is -b, this is positive 3b, right? If you multiply this by 3, you can add equation 1 and equation 2 up. Immediately, you get what is the value of A. Alright, can you try? I've already given you the answer here. Can you check your working? Okay, if you really have problems doing it, then please do find me. Yes? How do you do elimination? Okay, step by step. Take this equation, you times 3. Both sides you times 3. What are you going to get? Okay lah, I do lah. Okay, come here. What you're going to do first is you're going to times this by 3. Negative 3a minus 3b is equals to 6. This is my equation 3. Alright? So what I'm going to do is I am going to take this equation 1. I am going to just put it here. Okay? So can you see here that I have 3b, I have a 3b and I have a positive 3b and a negative 3b. So what I can do is I can take equation 3 plus equation 1. Can you see that the 3b's will get eliminated? Right? So I'm going to take equation 3 plus equation 1. So what is negative 3 plus 27a? I'm going to get 24a, right? So I know the 3b's are going to get eliminated. So 6 plus 66 gives me 72. Therefore, divide both sides by 24. So then your a, you will get 3. Okay? I'm not going to continue the other one because I think you should know what to do already. Okay? I can very confidently tell you that in the exam, normally you can do by elimination because our intentions is not really to test you, okay, on your substitution. Okay? Oh no, sorry. Our intentions is not really to come up with a very complicated simultaneous equation. It's often going to be very simple. B is -5. Okay, you can always check your answer by using the calculator. Alright, for those of you who have the Casio calculator, you have the. Connie, you figure out how to do it, you know?
Yeah, I have to flip the sign.
Have to flip the sign. But then you have to be careful lah. But if not, just buy this lah. Okay? So this kind of question, make sure you know how to do, alright? Okay. Come, let's move on to try 10. Try 10, can you do by yourself? Okay, can you do try 10 by yourself? Same idea. Okay, the expression is exactly divisible by this thing. So the first thing is to make the divisor equal 0. Try to find what are the value of x that can make the divisor equals to 0. Then you substitute it inside the original fx, make it equals to 0 because that's what the factor theorem tells us. And then you'll form two simultaneous equations and you will solve it. Hey, Raphael, try first. Hey, don't look at my answer first. Try first, alright? Try first.
What is this number? I hate it. I need a calculator. Mr. Tom, can I borrow your calculator?
Okay, so you should simplify. You should get these two equations, equation number 1 and equation number 2. Alright, so if you solve it either by elimination or substitution, let's see what we get.
Wait, how you get something? The p
Ah.
is supposed to be squared.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, I left out a square over here. Is there any? Okay, let me recalculate again.
3 to the power of 3
Okay.
plus 3
Yes. I entered wrongly. Let me redo this thing. Alright, let me redo this thing. Just hold on a moment, Okay. 2 negative to the power of 3. No, it's correct, Raised to the power of 3, correct. This is negative 1/4. Huh?
3 to the power of 3 is 27.
It's a purple side.
So you 3 to the power of 2
What 3 to the power of 2?
You type it wrongly.
Because like if you
So
wrote
the purple equation
two brackets.
Oh, you mean the purple one? Oh, yeah, I'm looking at the blue one. My apologies. Okay, this one, wait, 2 times 3.
Oh, then minus 3.
Yeah, this 54. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Okay.
To the other side.
Okay, wait. Let me recheck things. Okay, this one should be correct. 54 minus 3, 51. So here should be negative 51. Correct? Correct? Okay, let me finish up this side. So this is negative plus 1/4 p minus half q minus 3 is 0. So what remains is just 1/4 p minus half q minus 3 and 1/4. So this is 3 and 1/4. Alright. Okay. Can you please check your two simultaneous equations? If you can get unto the simultaneous equations, then I would say your battle is half done. Alright, your battle is half done. But for this one, okay, you can also do by elimination. You just need to multiply equation 1 by 6. Okay, you can multiply equation 1 by 6. You should be able to solve it. Okay? And for those of you who are done with P and Q already, what's the answer? Anyone done? Only done already?
I think it's
You think it's wrong? Okay, don't worry, calculator to the rescue, alright? Let me see what's the correct answer. 0.25 negative half.
How did you get it wrong? The rule draw.
1,304.
Come on, the rule draw.
1,304.
Stop making careless mistakes.
What's the answer?
Here.
Okay, you should get P is equals to negative 3
Huh?
and Q is negative 8.
Fraction.
You did wrong, man. You go talk, you go talk.
我这个算错了，但
0.25 minus half is 3.14. 9x plus 3y is equal. Yes, this is 100% correct. Unless the calculator is wrong. No, the calculator is never wrong. Okay? Yes. Hey, channel 5, please. Which line?
One.
This thing? Here? 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 What's wrong with this? Negative 1/4 minus 3 is negative 3 and 1/4, right? But you bring it over, it becomes positive 3 and 1/4. This one? Upper? Left? This one is not, this is negative 1/4. Negative 1/8? Hello, wait, no. Yeah, times 2 already.
You submit
Hey, you use your calculator. Please use your calculator. Okay? Hey, the answer is really P equals negative 3, Q equals negative 8. If you got it wrong, it's because of your substitution or your elimination. Okay? Can you please go and practice? Some of you got this correct answer already. Okay? For those of you who did not, you really have to go back and practice. Alright? Give you guys 1 more minute to try to figure out where you went wrong. Alright? Then I move on to the next one already.
I will beat you up if you say that again.
Okay? Hello? What are you doing? Why are you beating people up? Okay? For those of you who are done, you can look at the second one. Even though they say challenge yourself, to be honest, it's not very challenging. It's really not very challenging. But the thing is, psychologically, right, the minute you put challenge yourself, right, I think psychologically you may think that, wow, this question must be damn difficult. Okay? But actually it's not. Okay? It's actually not. It's actually one of the easiest questions. Okay? Legit. No lies. Okay, another 30 more seconds. Try to figure out where you went wrong. And then I'm going to move on to the next part. Okay, can I move on to the next part already? No, you cannot. Okay. Sometimes when you keep looking at your own mistakes, you can never find out what's wrong. Pass it to your friend. Ask your friend to look for you. Really, because when you keep looking at the same thing over and over again, right, you have no idea where went wrong. Yes. Factorize is the reverse of expansion, so please put in brackets. Yeah. Okay? Hey, those who really cannot one, you come and find me. Okay, I'll help you figure out. Or you send me a picture of your working. Okay, I'll figure out for you. Alright? Come. Let's move on to the next one. Challenge yourself. Okay? Find the remainder when this particular function is divided by x minus 2. If you did this by long division, just take one of your hand and just give yourself a very light touch on your face. Okay? Because this one you don't have to use long division. Okay? Remainder, you use remainder theorem. Okay? So remainder theorem tells us that this is the divisor. I just need to make this equal 0. So I know that x is equals to 2. So all you have to do is substitute. This is my fx, my original function. I substitute in 2 into my original function. So I'm going to get 2 cubed minus 4 square plus 2 minus 2. You will get 0. Right? You guys get 0. Now, what does it mean? What does it mean when you get a remainder of 0? What does it mean? Yes, can you please write it down? X minus 2 is a factor. So please write it down. X minus 2 is a factor.
If you don't do that question, I will beat you up.
Alright, so, calm down. Alright, so when you see that x minus 2 is a factor, the next part, hence, completely factorize the expression. How are you going to completely factorize the expression? There are 2 ways to do it. Okay, there are 2 ways to do it. There is the I wouldn't really say whether one method is easier or the other, but I will show you the first method, okay, and then I'll show you the second method. I'll show you both methods, alright, and then you decide for yourself which one you think is easier. Now, we know that this expression over here is 2x cubed minus 4x squared plus x minus 2, okay, and I know that this fx is equals to the divisor, which is a factor, multiplied by the quotient. Okay? Now, the quotient over here, there is no remainder, right? Because I know the remainder is 0. Okay, this part, please pay attention, because even if you know how to do, this is the key part. I need you guys to pay attention. Alright? So I know I need to take this thing multiplied by the quotient. Alright? But I want you guys to put on your thinking caps. If you want to get x cubed, right? If you want to get, this is degree 3, this is degree 1. Degree 1 must multiply by a degree 1 in order to get a degree 3. Must multiply by a degree 2. So therefore, we know that this thing over here must be a quadratic. Is anyone confused? This thing must be of this form, ax squared plus bx plus c. Correct? So it is our job to actually find out what is a, what is b, what is c. That's all. Alright? Who is confused about this part? I know in order for me to get this original, I know that there is no remainder. There is no remainder at all. So therefore, I have the divisor multiplied by a quadratic. I must be able to get this. So let us think about it. Okay? How do I figure out what the value of a is? The only way to get x cubed is, can you see that the only possibility to get x cubed is x times ax squared? Right? That's the only possibility. Right? So what is the value of a then? 2. So immediately you should know that the value of a is 2. Okay, I'm just going to rub it away and I'm just going to put it as 2. Alright? Easy. How about c? Let's think about c. The only way for me to get a constant is that if I take a constant multiplied by a constant, right? That's the only way. There's no other way. If I take a constant multiplied by x squared, if I take a constant multiplied by x, I'm not going to get a constant. The only way for me to get a constant is a constant multiplied by a constant. So I know negative 2 times c will give me negative 2. Let's write it down. I know that this negative 2 is equals to negative 2 times c. So what is c? 1. Right? So I'll replace this by 1a. What about the last one? bx. Okay? How do I figure out what bx is? If you really cannot figure things out, okay, you look at what else is available. Another method to do it, if you really cannot figure things out, right, is you just go and expand it. Okay, which I'll do it very quickly for you guys. Don't worry, the expansion is not disgusting. It's actually quite okay one. Okay, so if I expand things out, so I'm going to get 2x cubed. This is going to be plus bx squared. This one is going to be plus x. Right, I'm going to change color over here. Negative 2 times 2x, negative 4x squared. Negative 2 times b gives me negative 2bx. And last one, negative 2 times 1 gives me negative 2. Let me combine all of the like terms together, right? So 2x cubed, I have x and x squared over here, plus x squared, b minus 4. I factorize out the x squared. Okay? The next one, I have x and I have an x over here. I'm just going to factorize out the x. I'm going to be left with 1 minus 2b, and I'm going to get minus 2. Okay? So here, okay, here, all you have to do is you need to think, okay? You need to think, hey, how do I, if you put on your thinking cap, how are you going to make this b minus 4 equals to negative 4? How? Actually, you just need to look at this can already. How do you make b minus 4 equals to negative 4? b equals to 0. Actually, you got an answer already. b is equals 0. Okay? So b equals 0. Alright, so this method is just by comparing coefficients. You don't really need to look at the other one. Okay, so here you know that b is equals to 0. So if b is equals to 0, then we will go back to this original function over here. Okay, and I know I'm going to rewrite this whole thing down. Okay, so 2x cubed minus 4x squared plus x minus 2 is equals to x minus 2 times 2x squared. If b is 0, so it will just be plus 1. That's all. This is how you completely factorized it. Okay? Now, okay, I know because this is your first time seeing this method, it can be a little bit challenging. Okay, it can be a little bit confusing. But I'm going to show you another method that I believe all of you will like even more. Okay, a lot of you will like. Alright? So just hold on. Okay, everyone already understood this method?
You just do long division.
Yes, okay, so Jordan said, can you just do long division? The second method is just do long division and you get an answer. Okay? But, Just now, right? Just now I was in the staff room. I was actually asking one of my colleagues. Okay, I was asking one of my colleagues, Miss Ang.
2 minutes.
Okay, and
3 minutes LP drop.
I was asking her whether this question can do long division or not because they actually use the word hence, right? So when you use the word hence, right, they want you to do by this method. They want you to express it in this thing, and then you show that remainder is 0, and then you compare coefficients. Okay? But actually, Miss Ang say comparing, you can actually do by long division as well. Yes.
Which case x?
Only this one.
How do I get what?
Oh, the first one was
X squared plus 1.
x plus.
This line or this line?
And to it, or you do it wrong, else.
I think it's x is the
How do I get x squared plus? Oh, okay. Because I know that b is 0, right? So if b is 0, I'll get 2x squared plus 1. Alright? Hey, any questions regarding this one?
没有，
Any questions regarding this one?
没有。
Okay, if not, I'm going to show you, don't show lah. You can try doing this by long division. Okay? I've asked Miss Ang say it should be okay lah. Okay? So should be okay, what does it mean?
If he's
I don't know lah. Okay, but I don't know whether the O-level markers will accept it, alright? But long division is definitely way simpler, alright? So if you have the expression 2x cubed minus 4x squared plus x minus 2, if you divide by x minus 2, how are you going to do by long division? Okay, so the first step, you're going to get your x, you want it to become 2, so I need to multiply by 2x squared. So I'm going to put 2x cubed over here. 2x squared times negative 2, that will give me negative 4x squared. I minus this, I realize the whole thing is 0, I have x minus 2. I divide once more by x minus 2, I just have a plus 1. Right? And this gives me 0. So I can write it in my normal way. I know that my fx is equal to the divisor, which is x minus 2, multiplied by the quotient, 2x squared plus 1, plus the remainder, which is 0. So voila, I have factorized it completely. Faster, right? Okay? Faster, but there's a risk that this may not be accepted. Okay, I'm telling you, okay? But of course, if the other method is completely alien to you, you really don't know what is going on, okay, then I'll still use this method. This method, I agree, is a lot easier. Okay?
What even is
Huh?
I don't understand.
Again?
What is other method?
Okay, I will attempt to explain one more time. Okay, I'll attempt to explain one more time, huh? But I mean, this video is recorded. If you don't understand it, you go back and rewatch it, okay? So what is the other method?
this one within 2 minutes.
Okay, the other method is that I know that my function fx, okay, which is my original function, is equals to the divisor multiplied by the quotient, right? Now, I know my fx is actually this thing. I'm gonna write it down. My fx is actually 2x cubed minus 4x squared plus x minus 2. So I know that this is my fx. So if you think about it, if I need to have my x minus 2, qx is the quotient, but it is basically just a polynomial. Okay, so I need to make an intelligent guess as to what the qx must be. Alright? So if I have a linear of degree 1, how am I going to get degree 3? I know that I need to multiply somehow by the degree 2, which is a quadratic. Okay, so you know that quadratic, the general form of a quadratic equation is of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Until here, who is confused? Okay, why must this be a quadratic? Because I need it to be degree 2. A degree 2 multiplied by degree 1 will give me degree 3.
What the hell are you?
Okay? Degree means the power, the highest power.
You write no division like
Okay?
that.
So that is the only way I'm able to get this. Okay? So actually, your job is done as long as you know what is the value of A, what is the value of B, what is the value of C. Right? But just by looking at this, you will immediately know what's the value of A and C. How? Because you know that, how do do you get x cubed? There is only one way, x times ax squared. Okay, I'm going to write out full working, I don't jump steps, alright? So I'm going to take x times ax squared. I'm just going to compare. 2x cubed is equals to ax cubed, right? So therefore, my a is 2. So immediately you know that your value of a is 2. Next one, we compare the constants. The only way for me to get a constant is negative 2 times c, right? So I know that negative 2 times c will give me negative 2. So therefore c is equals to 1. Once you know these two information, substitute it back into the original function. So I'll rewrite the original function for you. So I know that 2x cubed minus 4x squared plus x minus 2 is equals to x minus 2. Multiply a is 2, so 2x squared plus bx plus 1. All you don't know now is the value of b. But this is basically your identities. Your left hand side is equals to the right hand side. In order to find the value of b is actually not that difficult. Expand this whole thing, compare the coefficients. Okay, expand this whole thing and compare the coefficients. So I'm going to expand it one more time for you. Okay, just use your rainbow method. 2x cubed, this one, plus bx squared plus x, then the bottom, negative 4x squared minus 2bx minus 2. Alright, so basically I have expanded this into this form. I just need to compare. Let us only focus on x squared. Shall we only focus on x squared? Okay, so it makes it a little bit easier, right? We only focus on x squared. So when I look here, what makes x squared? Can you see that what makes x squared is only this and this? Can you see that? So I know that if I focus on x squared only, negative 4x squared is equals to bx squared minus 4x squared. So in order for this side to be the same as this side, can you see that b must be 0?
No.
Can you see that?
No. No.
So if b is 0, are you done? If b is 0, your factorization is done already.
I'm not
Okay?
going to show it to you. Otherwise you're going to copy.
Alright? So, yes, I guess maybe they say this is challenge yourself because if you do by this method, it's a little bit more difficult. Okay? If you do by long division, you can easily do it in like 2 minutes. Okay? So, pick your poison lah. I'll say pick your poison. Alright? Yeah, I mean, okay, but I checked with Miss Ang lah. Miss Ang say that it should be acceptable lah. Okay, should be acceptable. Okay. Okay, can we turn to the next one? We're almost at the end already. Okay? Actually not really lah. Okay, but flip to the next page. Okay? This example over here, I'm not going to redo it lah. It's the exact same example. Okay, this example is the exact same example. Let's not redo this. Okay? Let's look at example number 1. Okay, this is basically the same concept. Okay, this is basically the same concept. Let us try this question together. Alright, so I want to find the remainder when x to the power of 3 plus 1 is divided by x plus 1. Okay, so here I am going to try to make this equals to 0. So x plus 1 is 0, so I know x is negative 1. So the remainder theorem tells me that if I substitute negative 1, I will get the remainder. Right? So I'm going to get negative 1 to the power of 3 plus 1. What do you get? Yeah, you get 0. Okay? So therefore, you know that x minus x plus 1 is a factor. Okay? So you know that this thing is a factor. Alright, let's try the difficult method. I tell you what, example 1 we do by difficult method, example 2 we do by long division. So we practice both, alright? Okay, so this one, we want to factorize completely. I know that the expression, the function fx is 3x plus 1 is equals to x plus 1 multiplied by a quadratic. Okay? Why must I multiply by a quadratic? Okay, why must I multiply by a quadratic? Why must this... Okay, why must this be a quadratic? Again, it's because you want a degree 3. Okay, so this is degree 1. The only way for you to get a degree 3 is that you must multiply by a quadratic. Okay, that is the very first step you must understand. Okay, and just by observing, you should know what is the value of A and C. In fact, you don't have to actually do much working. Okay, just by looking, can you see that the value of A must be 1? Can you see that? Just by looking at it, can you see that the value of A must be 1? Because in order for me to get x cubed, I must take x multiplied by ax squared. Okay? So in this case, the value of A is 1. What do you think the value of C must be? Just by looking. 1. Why? Because the only way for me to get 1 is I must take 1 times C, and C is equals to 1. I compare the left side with the right side. Okay, so immediately you don't really need to show any working because I think it's quite understood, right? Your A is 1 and your C is also 1. Okay, so next all you have to do is just do some simple comparison. Okay, you just need to expand first. Okay, so if you expand, you're gonna get x cubed plus bx squared plus 1 plus x, plus x squared plus bx plus 1. And this is equals to x cubed plus 1. If you focus on all of the x over here, okay, if you focus on all of the x over here, I'm going to group all the x together. X cubed plus b, I factorize out the x squared, b plus 1. Of course, I have plus x plus bx plus 1. Can we just focus on the x squared? Do we have an x squared here? Don't have, right? There is no x squared here. So what does this mean? It means that this x squared shouldn't exist. If you do not want this x squared to exist, what must this value of b be? Yeah, you got it.
I have no clue. Just
Yeah, you got it. So b must be negative 1. So therefore, you just substitute negative 1 inside here. Right? So your factorized form of x cubed plus 1 is equals to x plus 1, x squared minus x plus 1. Joey, can you see here? There is a b. B is, what must b be? No, not 0. Negative 1. So you replace the b over here with negative 1. Can you see that it becomes this?
Oh, I got the answer.
Don't cry. Okay?
I got it.
Wipe your tears and try
Oh,
again.
Jesus Christ.
Okay? It's okay. Okay? Just watch this video. You have 1 week. Okay? Play this on repeat. Okay? Over the holidays. You will get it. Don't worry. You will get it.
No, I want to go.
Okay? Come. Okay, the next one, easier, alright? Let's do by long division. Let's practice by long division, alright? Okay lah, I tell you something lah. In the exam, if I do test this, I won't put hands. Okay, so you can do any method. Alright, you can do by any method. Alright? Anyway, I checked with Samsung is she's very, very experienced. Okay, I think if she says 10, 99% can. Alright, but it's my duty to teach you both methods. Okay, I have to show you both methods. Alright, okay, so this one let's do by long division. Okay, find the remainder when it's divided by x minus c. So here, I know that x is equals to c. This is my original function fx, so I substitute c inside. So I'm going to get c cubed minus c cubed is equals to 0. So therefore, x minus c is a factor. Okay, so therefore I know x minus c is a factor. Alright? Okay, so hence completely factorized. So how do we do that? I have my original expression. Okay, this one is a very good long division question. Okay, it's a very good long division question because many of you will get stuck when you try to do long division for this one. Okay, many of you will get stuck when you try to do long division. Now, Remember when I told you when you want to do long division, you have to make sure that the powers of x are descending. Okay? You have to make sure that the powers of x are descending. That means I have x cubed. The next one is you must have 0x squared plus 0x minus c cubed. Can? Please put this down. Okay? And you are trying to divide by x minus c. Can you try this by yourself? What do you get?
You mean I'm retarded?
Okay, can you try this by yourself? What do you get in the long division? This is a pretty good long division question because it tests you on a lot of things.
X squared plus cx plus c squared times x minus c. You're too slow. six. Square out.你比我这 chemistry chemistry 是吧？不是，但是我怎么想的啊？他说如果是那样的话，他应该是这样对吧？加 a b 的话就是2x。
Okay, my answer is up there. Can you do and you check your answer with mine?
我是来做，但是你看这边加2b不是应该减2x吗？用它的
Okay, can you try?
负的。
Okay, I know it's a bit frustrating, alright? Especially when you're doing things for the first time and no one likes algebra. Okay, no one likes algebra. But you have to practice. Okay, because this kind of question will come up for exam. Okay, it will. But if you practice enough, you realize that it's just not that difficult. Do it slowly, alright? Do it slowly, make sure you can get the answer. If you don't get the answer, check back again and redo it. Okay, I'm going to pause here for another 2 more minutes. If you don't get the answer, scrape the whole thing, redo it again. Yes.
正的 b 什么负2，正的 b 什么负2？那正的
Okay, any other questions? Any questions regarding this one? If not, I'll leave it here for another 2 minutes. Those of you who are done, you can take a short mental break. A short mental break. Okay, we'll wait for 2 minutes for the rest to catch up. Yes, I'm collecting. Later, I return you your scripts first, then you fall inside. Huh? You lost all your worksheets. Okay, is everyone done? Okay, is everyone done with this one? Can? Okay, if you are done, your break time is over. Let us go to this part. Now, this part is very important. Okay, this part is very important. In E-math, there were 3 identities that you guys had to memorize, right? In E-math, you guys had to memorize a plus b square is a square plus 2ab plus b square. You also had to memorize a minus b is a square minus 2ab plus b square. You also had to memorize a square minus b is a plus b, a minus b. Now, this wouldn't be called additional math if there is no additional things for you to memorize. Okay? Now, because this is additional math, they require you to memorize this. But I'm going to show you one very easy way to memorize things. Okay, one very easy way to memorize things. What's it? This one important. Okay, how do you memorize this? I have a cubed plus b cubed. Okay, don't be confused with a plus b the whole thing cube. Okay, don't be confused. This one is respectively the a cubed plus b cubed. All right. So the way that I memorized it is that I will have follow the same sign. The first one, I will always follow the sign. Okay, so you realize that if this is plus, this will be plus. If this is minus, this will also be minus. Okay, so the first sign is the same, but the second sign is different. Okay, the first sign is same, but the second sign is different. So the way that I memorized it is a cubed plus b cubed is equals to, first one is the same, a plus b. The second one is a minus ab plus b. Okay, this one is the square. Okay, so the second one is going to be a square one. This one is followed by itself. Now the second thing that I need you guys to remember, and this one confuses a lot of people, is that the difference between this and the identities that you memorized earlier is that this one don't have the 2. You realize that? This one don't have the 2. Okay, so this is of the form a square minus ab plus b, not a square minus 2ab. Okay, so these are just some of the common mistakes. It is so important that can you stare at this for a while and memorize it. I'm going to give you guys like 2 minutes to stare at this and memorize it. Yes. Yes. Huh? Yes.
Right here.
Okay, come. Let's move on. Alright, so can we use the formula above that we have learned to completely factorize this thing? Okay, how do we do that? So this is of the form x cubed minus 2 cubed. You need to be familiar with perfect cubes. Alright, you need to be familiar with perfect cubes. So if you have memorized the pattern earlier, you know that this one is x minus 2. The second pattern is a plus, so x squared plus 2x. Why 2x? There's no 2ab, it's just ab. Okay, plus 2 squared. Okay, so this is my final factorized form. Okay, plus 4. So it's quite easy and actually quite fast to factorize if you memorize it. Okay, it's actually quite easy and quite fast if you memorize it. Okay, you have to memorize this, ladies and gentlemen, because if you don't memorize, are you really going to do long division all the time?
Yes.
Yes? Some of you can't even do long division.
What?
Okay, so please memorize it. Okay, next one, completely factorize this. This one is another okay one. 8x cubed, write it in 2x cubed plus 5 cubed. Write it in this format, and then you are able to factorize. Okay, so this one is going to give you 2x plus 5. The first one is a plus, So the second one is going to be a minus. Take note, this whole thing squared minus 2x times 5 plus 5 squared. Okay, plus 5 squared.
How we go?
Okay, I know it's a very, very long period. It's like one hour. Yeah, it's really very long. Alright? But we're coming to the end already. Alright? Hey, I promise you, I won't take the whole period. Okay, I'm just going to take half the period. Just give me about 15 more minutes only.
No.
Okay, just 15 more minutes. Bear with it.
No.
Okay, and then I will show you your results
Guess what?
later on.
What
Okay, I'll show you your
What
results.
result?
Alright,
What my results?
on cockpit. Alright, so 4x squared minus 10x plus 25. Okay, so this is how you do this question over here. Can? Okay, let's move on. So this one is easy. Now, example number 3. Okay, example number 3. Given that x minus 2 is a factor of fx, when blah blah blah, factorize fx completely. This one, they never specify any method. So they already tell us that x minus 2 is a factor. Okay? So you can just use long division. They never specify a method that you must use. So this one, just use long division. Alright? Practice, practice. 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus x plus 2.
Well, everything in this school is created by Li Jiahao. Bro, why everything is related to
But actually I laugh because it's actually true. Okay? Mr. Lee is a fantastic human being. No, really.
This video seems like that was here.
No, cannot be. Cannot be, he's very young. He's only...
Oh, Mr. Li Jiahao.
You thought the softball teacher ah? No, Mr. Lee, even for the teachers also, he helps us create a lot of resources. Yeah, he does a lot of things.
Not just a lot, every single thing here.
Yeah. Mr. Lee, maybe one day he'll be a minister. Maybe one day. Yeah.
Which Mr. Li ah?
Mr. Lee Jiahao lah. Maybe.
MOE.
No, he's no longer here. He's at MOE HQ. I think the next stint he's going to be a principal very soon.
Not that.
He's a fantastic human being. Alright, okay, quickly do this. I'll also do along with you, and then when you're done, you can look up and check your answer with mine.
Whoa, goddamn, yeah, goddamn.
Okay, if you are done, can you factorize it completely? I would say this is not the final answer. You need to factorize this thing. Okay, you need to factorize this thing. How you do that? You can either use your tic-tac-toe method or you can use your ladder method.
Oh yeah, that was completely.
Okay, so this is your final answer. How do you factorize completely? Can you please try? Make sure you are able to get this final answer. If you don't get it, please raise your hands. Okay, I'm going to keep it up here for a while. Long division, I don't think I need to go through. Okay, factorization is basically your Sec 2 work. Okay, you guys are already Sec 3. Yeah, you're mentally at Sec 1.
我都要写下来。我甚至都把这3
No, you're mentally, but physically you are Sec 3, but mentally somehow you are Sec 1.
我先把简单的写下来。
Okay? Hey, your exam is your own prerogative. I don't. Do you know? I don't get more money if you guys score better. Huh? Got the face? There's no need for face. I'm already leaving. There's no need for face. No, they do not. They do not depend on the student results. They do not. Okay. In fact, to be very honest with you, okay, if any of you are interested in teaching, generally, teaching only takes up a small portion. Okay, teaching only takes up a very tiny portion of your time. Okay, a very okay. I won't say too small about maybe 20%, 20%, 80% is doing other things. Okay, running the school. Yeah, coming up with programs, enrichment, dealing with vendors, getting codes in. A lot of different things running CCAs, coming out with the program plans. In terms of teaching, to be honest, very little. And okay, some of you might say, hey, it's not fair, right? They say, hey, how come your students' grades don't matter? But you must know every class is different. Every class is different. So it doesn't really mean that if your class performs better, it's because of you, right? Because it could be that the class has a lot of tuition outside, right? It could be that the class is, like for example, okay, your class is a triple science class. If you guys perform the best, is it surprising? It's not surprising at all. In fact, if you guys do not perform the best,
What is surprising?
it's very, very weird. Okay, it's very weird. Okay? So the thing is, that's the reason why they don't track grades because it's not fair. It's not fair.
What do you mean?
Right?
Why is not fair?
If they track grades, then everyone will want to teach the triple science class because obviously even if you don't do anything, their grades will be the best.
Why?
Right? By default. Okay? Okay? So I'll be very frank with you. This is the reality out there. Okay? This is the reality out there. It's meant to be fair. Okay? That's why they don't track grades. Unless you're talking about a school like Raffles or Hwa Chong where everyone is about the same. Then of course there can be some difference. But in a school like Peachai, where it's very obvious in terms of grade, the standard deviation is very wide, and all of you are classed into different classes, then it's not very fair if we go by grades. Okay? Just saying. Alright, so part B. Anyone got any question regarding this thing? No? So how do you solve? I think a lot of you never solved this kind of question before. How are you going to solve it? This one is basically using the same product law. Okay, if you know that the multiplication of these three, x minus 2, 2x plus 1, and x minus 1 is equals to 0, then you know that one of them has to be 0. Because in order for you to get 0, one of them has to be 0. Okay, so you can form three equations. This is 0, or 2x plus 1 is 0, or x minus 1 is 0. So very quickly, you get three answers. Oops. And last one, x is equals to 1. Okay, so this is how we do this question. Okay, this is how we do this question. Okay? Example number 4, the next example is very important. Can you put a star beside it? Very, very important. Okay, the next question, example number 4, is very important. This one, I need you guys to pay 110% attention, because if you do not pay attention, you do not know how to do it. Okay, you really don't know how to do it. Okay, now the first one is actually very simple. They say that given that the function blah 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 leaves a remainder of 9 when divided by x minus k, show that this whole thing is equals to 0. So we understand from the remainder theorem that when we divide by a divisor, x minus k, I'm going to try to find the value that will make it equals to 0. So I know that x is equals to k. So I'm going to substitute this inside my original function, k. Okay? So when you substitute it inside here, what are you going to get? 2 times k cubed plus 9 times k squared plus 7k plus 3 is equals to 9. Because the remainder is 9. I use the remainder theorem. Okay, this part all of you must understand. So therefore, you have shown that 2k cubed plus 9k squared plus 7k minus 6 is 0. Yes, any questions? Okay? This first part is not the difficult part. If you found the first part difficult already, then yeah, I don't know what to say. Okay? So this is not the difficult part. The difficult part is when you look at part B. They want you to find the value of k. They don't give you any hints, they don't give you any idea. This is a cubic equation. Do you learn how to solve cubic equations?
Yes.
Yes?
No.
You have learned?
No.
No. Okay? No, you cannot use calculator. Okay, you cannot use calculator to solve. There is no quadratic formula or there is no cubic formula for you to solve this thing. Okay? Actually there is, but you guys haven't learned yet. You learn in A level. Okay, but you haven't learned it yet. Okay?
But what is A?
But you cannot use that formula. So how are you going to solve this? Okay? You will solve this by number 1, factorize this completely first. You need to factorize until you get this form. Okay? But the question is how?
Long division.
The question is how? Long division, okay? How you go to long division is divide by what?
X minus k.
X minus k.
I don't know Thomas.
No. How? No. How do you know? They never say x minus k is a factor, what? You cannot divide by that, but you get a remainder, what? Then you cannot solve. X equals to? No. Okay. So this part, listen carefully, yeah? Okay? If you want to find out what is the factor, actually all we need to do is to find out one of the factors. Just figure out one factor. Okay? The method to do this one is the same. I repeat now. I will repeat many times, but a lot of you will forget. This one, you need to do guess and check.
Oh, let's go.
Okay? You need to do guess and check. So you need to guess what the factor is. But, listen but,
Oh, k is equal to what? Wait, no.
wrong. But,
Two.
okay, listen. We will not make it too difficult for you to check. Okay, we will not make it too difficult for you to check. What do I want you to check? Just check 1, 2, 3. 99.99999% of the time, it will fall within 1 and 2.
1 doesn't work.
Alright? If 1 doesn't work, try 2. Alright? So I will show you what is guess and check. So I must pay attention because it's not always come on O level. And you will expect that this question will come out for your WA. Alright? So how do you guess and check? Now, the first step is I need to find. Can you write down step 1? Step 1, find the factor of fx. Okay, so that is our goal. We are going to try to find the factor of fx. So what could the factor of fx be? I am going to try the following things. Okay, I'm going to try the following things. I'm going to write now. Try not, okay, this is not x, this is k, because this variable is k. I'm going to try k minus 1. I'm going to try k plus 1. I'm going to try k minus 2. I'm going to try k plus 2. Okay? Very often times, listen, very often times, 90% of the time, it will fall within this. Alright, it will fall within this. Then small times, it will fall above this. Means it might be k minus 3, k plus 3. Okay? So what does it mean by trying this thing? Okay? That means that for this, you will substitute inside your function f1. This is f minus 1. This is f minus f2.
Oh, F1.
And this is f minus 2. What are you looking for? Hey, don't try it, don't try it. I need to go through the concept with you. What are you looking for when you substitute this 1 or negative 1 or 2 and negative 2 inside the original function fx? What are you looking for? 0. Okay, you are looking for the remainder to be 0. If the remainder is 0, then you got it. That is the factor. Alright? So that is what you are looking for. Can you try? Substitute 1, substitute negative 1, substitute 2, substitute negative 2. Which one will give you 0? Try. Okay, I really give you a huge hint already. Okay, and I can tell you this one will definitely come out one. End of year also come out, even though I'm not here anymore. I'm very sure it'll come out one because this question always comes out. Okay? It will come out, I'm telling you. Okay? So, I am that confident it will come out. Can you try? Which one will, so which one is a factor? Okay, try. I'll keep silent. Okay?
It's only negative 2. Negative 2.
What the hell is crazy? Yeah, you crazy.
Negative 2.
Very weird.
Negative 2, right? So for those of you who have tried, only when you substitute in negative 2, then it is. So therefore, what does it mean?
X minus 2.
K
K.
plus 2 is a factor.
Oh my god, retarded.
Okay, K plus 2 is a factor. Okay, so if you know that it's a factor, do long division. So now let's try. Alright? So yeah, of course. Okay, so you do long division. X cubed plus 9x squared plus 7x plus 3 divided by k plus 2.
Oh my name.
Hey, what am I doing? Wrong.
Sherry. No.
Do you know why they have their
No,
2k cubed plus 9k squared plus 7k minus 6. Okay, so don't do long division for this one. I also do it along with you, and you can check the answer when I'm done.
你问到我了，你问到我了，你可以问一下老师。
我那边白白少挺多。
一会儿我们要去那个后 level。我觉得你问的很有道理，但我也不知道你可以翻到前面去看一眼。比如说你看一眼，它不是 remainder 要是 zero 吗 ？remainder 是 zero 的话，它就用 remainder 是 zero。如果有的要 remainder 是 zero 的话，它才能这个。没有，我在给你解释为什么是那样的。有的它不是要 remainder 是 zero 吗？它就要被前面那个就要被放在那个除尽嘛，被除数就要被除尽，对，不能有余数，对吧？如果你不能有余数的话，那个东西减那个东西是零，那个东西减那个东西就必须。哎，你妈，我也不知道怎么解释这个，什么老师？I was yapping.
Oh,
hell no! What the hell?
It never pours but rains.
What?
Have Everything's gone. Oh my gosh. Okay, when you finally, I'll just redo it. Yes. Yeah, boss. Yes. What? Okay.
Oh, it's 2k squared plus 5k minus 3.
You are no more nerd. You are no more nerd. They are. You are the bio nerd. Not the bio. You are not the bio. 建议。
Mr. Michael.
You need to solve for the value of k.
K.
You need to solve for the value of k.
K is -2. Why did you got?
Okay, so once you get this, you should be able to solve for the value of k, alright? So you should have 3 answers. This one you can use quadratic formula. You can use quadratic formula to get the answer.
What's the first one?
2k squared plus 5 minus 3. K is 2.
No, it's -2.
Yes, -2, my apologies.
Bruh.
Yeah, it's -2. Okay? Oops, where's my eraser?
我回家了。
Okay? So you have 3 answers, k is -2, k is half, and k is -3. Okay, this one you can use your quadratic formula to solve. I don't need you to factorize because they never specify that you must factorize. Okay? Okay, we do one more and then we end the day.
What? No.
Just one more, just one more, alright? Come, just one more. Huh? Okay, I promise you the next one is very short. Okay, it's really very short.
Are you? No way.
This try 5 is very short, but it's very confusing because it gives you more information than you need. Okay? I give you a hint. They give you more information than you need. In fact, there is one line of information that you can totally disregard. You don't even have to use it. Okay, don't have to use it at all. Try 5. Okay? Okay, so please try this one. Last question, I promise you. Okay, last question.
这两个题不是一样的吗？Bro, these two questions are the same.
They're not the same. Try 5 and try 6 are totally different questions.
5 and 6.
6 is simultaneous
Which one do I
equations.
do?
5, do 5. Yes.
X minus k is 0.
Why x minus k is 0?
Because x minus k is 0. That's why.
Wait, do you need to move the 9?
No, x minus k is not 0.
Huh?
What would you mean?
Like we need to make x equal to 3.
Yes, but then that's remainder theorem, right? Then you, if you substitute that, you get a remainder of
9.
9.
That means
I give you guys a clue, try 5. Not all the information you need. Some are just meant to just show you off.
太好了，太好了，
Not all the information you need.
太好了。
Some are just there to show you off. Okay, to see whether you truly understand the topic, when they give you a lot of information, you may not use all of them.
Bro, the last one is useless. It's minus k. There's no K in the question. Bro, just do the long division.直接 long division 好吧，不管它了。
Later at 11:30, the higher Chinese students please go to the hall, right?
不，
But then we stay in class.
Huh?
We stay in class.
Ah, the rest of you stay in class. The rest of you stay in class.
I stay here.
No?
So what are you going to do for?
Journey together.
What's that?
西游记 Journey to the West. No lah, obviously not.
I failed mother tongue.
Huh?
I failed mother tongue.
I don't believe it. You feel mata?
You can check it. You have the results, right?
How can you feel mata?
I don't know. I got 46%. If I'm not wrong.
Horrible. Okay, are you guys done already?
Oh, it's quite easy.
Okay, those of you who are completely lost, no, I'm not going to go through the answer yet. This information you can ignore. You don't need the information to do part A and part B. You don't need it. It's just there to throw you off only. You don't need this information.
Yes, yes. Spaghetti toilet. Simple. If you can do this, try it 5, right? Okay? The first one who can show me your final answer, you got it correct, right? First one. Okay, I'm going to give you something. Let me see.
Oh, you mean B also ah?
No, of course lah. A is like 1 second. Let me take a look. Okay. Right.
我跟你说了，做完以后这个现场再听都
What is this? Okay, can I go through the answer now? Okay, because the time is really running. Okay, I have no choice. I have to go through right now. Okay, because the time is really running out. Alright. So for 5a, show that x plus a is a factor. So if we know that it is a factor, I am going to substitute in this thing is equals to 0, so I know that a is equals to negative a. Alright? So I'm going to substitute it inside the function, and I'm going to get 2 negative a cubed plus a negative a squared minus 7a squared negative a minus 6a cubed. this will give me 0.
没有，你直接做一个。
Okay, so if it gives me 0, basically I have shown. How do I show? I've shown it by the factor theorem. If the remainder is 0, when I substitute in the divisor to make it 0, then therefore it is a factor. Okay, then part B. Part B is the part that some of you get a little bit confused. Okay, how do you completely factorize? If you know that the function, okay, the function is 2x cubed plus ax squared minus 7ax minus 6a cubed. Okay, check that all the powers of x are descending, which they are. You divide by the factor x plus a. Okay, so if when you divide by the factor, the first one of course is 2 plus 2ax squared. The first one is actually 2x squared. You minus it. Okay, if you minus it, then you are going to get negative ax squared minus 7a squared x minus 6a cubed. Okay, and then you one more time. Here you multiply by ax. You're going to get negative ax squared minus a squared x. You minus it one more time. So the balance is negative 6a squared x minus 6a cubed. Okay? So you repeat that one more time. You're going to get 0. Alright, so here is going to be minus 6a squared.
It can be easier.
Yeah, sure. A lot of things in life can be easier.
All you need to do is a long division. The remainder is 0, so the first question, x plus a is a factor. And you also got a second one.
Yeah, this long division one.
Yeah, no, you don't even need to do the, like, for part A, you don't even need to factorize like that. All you need to do is one long division. You can prove both.
Okay. Okay, now, but if you give me your final answer, if you tell me that fx, okay, if you give me that fx is equals to x plus a multiplied by 2x, let me shift this because I'm running out of space. 2x squared minus ax minus 6a squared. This is wrong. Okay, why? Because the question says factorize completely or completely factorize. That means you still need to factorize this thing. But the question is how? How do you factorize this disgusting thing? Okay, so the way they're going to factorize, you can either use your ladder method or your tic-tac-toe method. Okay, recall this first term, I'll put it here. Next 6a squared negative ax over here. I ask myself, how do I get 2x squared? 2x squared is 2x times x. Negative 6a, I can get 3a times 2a. Right? I cross multiply first. This is 4ax, this is 3ax. How do I get negative? I get negative, if this is negative, this is positive. So here must be negative, this is positive. So therefore, my final factorized form is ax plus a, 2x plus 3a, x minus 2a. Boom, did it blow your mind? Okay, I'm going to end here. Okay,